please rise for the prayer and pledge of allegiance. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and glory, forever and ever. Amen.
pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item D on the agenda is approval of minutes from November 20th, 2023. In the absence of any objections or corrections, the minutes shall stand approved. Hearing none, they stand approved. Item E, citizen communication. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to address council on something that is not on the agenda, you can step up to the podium. If you're on WebEx, you can type it in the chat, and we will check that periodically. Okay, moving on to item F, reports from council committees. F1, the Finance and Budget Committee did not meet on November 27th, 2023 due to lack of agenda items. Item F2, Safety and Human Resource Committee did meet on November 27th, 2023 with the agenda item of, Dan?
Yeah, at that time, we had a discussion and review of the township EMS costs and revenues, and this was our fourth meeting of the year that we resumed quarterly meetings, and the plan is to continue those quarterly meetings in 2024 because they've been beneficial.
Great, good to hear, thank you. Item F3, the Technology Committee did not meet on December 4th, 2023 due to lack of agenda items. Okay, moving on to item H, introductions of new ordinances and resolutions. We have H1 is ordinance number 054-23, an ordinance authorizing a pay increase for the City of Napoleon, Ohio City Manager and declaring an emergency.
Motion.
Second.
All right. So we had recommended here is an increase for the city manager of 3%. Anyone have any questions or comments? Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes,
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dr. Dave.
Yes.
Okay, that will move on to second read. Item H2 is ordinance number 055-23, an ordinance authorizing a pay increase for the City of Napoleon, Ohio Finance Director and declaring an emergency.
Motion.
Second.
All right, same here. We have a increase for the Finance Director of 3%. Do you have any questions or comments? Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
yes,
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
No.
Dr. Dave.
Yes.
Okay, that will be moving on to second read. Item H3, ordinance number 056-23, an ordinance authorizing a pay increase for the City of Napoleon, Ohio Law Director and declaring an emergency.
Motion.
Second?
Okay, and this one also is for a pay increase of 3%. Any questions or comments? Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
yes,
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dr. Dave.
Yes.
Okay, that will move on to second read. Item I, second readings of ordinances and resolutions. Item I1, resolution number 041-23, a resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds and authorizing a department director to take bids on certain projects, services, equipment, materials, and supplies without the requirement for additional legislation to do so in the year 2024 and declaring an emergency.
A motion?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Kevin?
Second read, so there's no changes to this resolution. It's still got the same amount of items on the list. And again, these are just items that were budgeted for this year, that we can purchase that are over the $50,000 threshold, or that may go over that.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dusty,
Okay, that will be moving on to third read. Item I2, resolution number 042-23, a resolution authorizing expenditure of funds in excess of $50,000 in and for the year 2024 as it relates to reoccurring costs associated with the operations of the city, for payment of expenses and for purchases associated with vendors utilized by multiple departments within the city, elimination of necessity of competitive bidding in and for the year 2024 as it relates to certain transactions, and declaring an emergency.
Motion.
Second?
Kevin?
Council President, this is, again, second read. There's no changes of the exhibits A, B, or C. And what we're approving here are vendors that we may pay over $50,000 within the year. This allows us to do so without separate legislation.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions or comments? Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dusty,
Yes.
Okay, that will be moving on to third read. Item I3 is ordinance number 045-23, an ordinance establishing the appropriation measure budget of the city of Napoleon, Ohio for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024, listed in Exhibit A, and declaring an emergency.
Motion.
Second?
Kevin?
Council President, again, second read. This is our appropriations budget for the year of 2024. There are no changes from the first read.
All right, thank you. Anyone have any questions or comments? Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dusty,
Yes.
Okay, that will be moving on to third read. Item I4 is resolution number 046-23, a resolution authorizing the finance director to transfer certain fund balances from respective funds to other funds per section 5705.14, ORC, on as an needed basis in fiscal year 2024, listed in Exhibit A, and declaring an emergency.
Motion.
Second?
Okay, Kevin?
This is the approval of the fund-to-fund transfers that we do throughout the year for 2024. Again, no changes from the first read. This allows us to move funds from, say, the electric fund to the electric development fund, or to a water fund to a debt fund, or from a income tax fund to the general fund, or capital improvement fund, or rec fund. So it just allows us to legally move the money.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dusty,
Yes.
Okay, that will move to third read. Item I5, ordinance number 047-23, an ordinance amending the allocation of funds as found in sections 193.11 and 194.013 of the codified ordinances of the city of Napoleon, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Motion.
Second?
Kevin?
Second read of how we distribute our income tax. Our general income tax dollars can either go to the general fund or to the capital improvement fund, and it is separated at 65% to 35%, like it has in previous years.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Hey, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dusty,
Yes.
That will move on to third read. Item I6 is ordinance number 048-23, An ordinance apportioning the expenses incurred, including wages, salaries, and fringe benefits of the mayor, council, and various other departments of the city of Napoleon which are not otherwise directly charged to special and/or capital projects among various accounts effective January 1st, 2024, amending ordinance numbers 104-09, 087-19, 069-20, 059-21, and 076-22, and declaring an emergency.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, Kevin.
Council President, this ordinance here is what we call a reimbursable cost. This is where we break out certain costs that get paid out of the general fund to other funds. Various examples I've given in the past, I'll use human resources, for example. They are paid out of the general fund, but they're certainly not just general fund employee human resources. They take care of the entire city, such as the water department, electric department. So there are certain funds that we get reimbursed back for those services that she provides to them.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dr. Dave.
That will move on to third read. Next, we have item I-7, which is ordinance number 049-23, an ordinance establishing a new position classification pay plan for employees of the city of Napoleon, Ohio for the year 2024, repealing ordinance number 077-22, and declaring an emergency.
Motion.
Second.
Kevin?
Council President, these are the 2024 pay ordinances. Exhibit A, there are changes than what was passed on the first read. It was an error on my part that the wrong exhibit was put in, and it was corrected for the second read. If you look in what is up on the board now is what was first passed in first read, and if you would move forward about 3 more tabs, highlighted in yellow are the changes. Everything was budgeted correctly. Again, these are the scales of what somebody could be hired at, and then we have steps A, B, C, and D. So this is what they could be moved to. So this is the correction for that. So we just need to approve the second read with the correction. So
Do we need to have an amendment or just a,
I don't think so. It's an exhibit. So
Okay.
it's just a correct, it's kind of like a scrivener there.
okay. All right. Any questions or comments? Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dr. Dave.
Yes.
Okay, that too will be moving on to third read. Item I-8, resolution number 050-23, a resolution authorizing a contribution to the Community Improvement Corporation of Henry County, Ohio, in and for the year 2024, and declaring an emergency.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Kevin?
second read, Council President, for the amount that we contribute in 2024 to the Community Improvement Corporation, which is, just as note, it's the same as last year, $45,000.
All right,
That gets billed quarterly throughout the year that we get invoiced by.
okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dr. Dave.
Yes.
Okay, that will move on to third read. Item I-9 is ordinance number 052-23, an ordinance amending the City Income Tax Code, Chapter 194 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Napoleon, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Kevin?
This is a second read for our income tax code that we have already in place. These changes are made because of the passage of House Bill 33 with the state, so there are no additional changes from the first read on this.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dr. Dave.
Yes.
All right, that will move on to third read. Item I-10 is resolution number 053-23, a resolution authorizing the execution of the 2023 NPP Power Pool participant schedule with American Municipal Power Incorporated and declaring an emergency.
Motion.
Second.
Andy?
Yes, Council President, this legislation allows me to sign the updated agreement. Once again, that agreement has not been updated since 2011, and the changes to the agreement were prompted by Winter Storm Elliott and some extra charges that PJM now allocates differently than what they did in the past. Other than that, there's no changes to the legislation.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dr. Dave.
Yes.
Okay, that will move on to third read. Item J, third readings of ordinances and resolutions. Item J1, ordinance number 051-23, an ordinance amending chapter 955 of the codified ordinances of the city of Napoleon, Ohio, specifically sections 955.09, golf privilege fee, section 955.09J, fees for motorized cart use, and section 955.09S, golf outing fees.
Motion.
Second.
Andy?
Yes, this third reading on this, there are no changes, and again, it just adjusts some, the greens fees, membership rates, and adds a personal cart, a drive-on rate for personal carts.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dr. Dave.
Yes.
All right, that is passed on third read. Oops. Moving on to item K, go to the city. K1, discussion or action to approve the write-offs of uncollectible accounts for utilities, EMS, and taxes. Kevin?
Thank you, Council President. This is something that we do annually. Attached are the EMS write-offs as well as the utilities and general miscellaneous items. These are all items that we have invoiced that were uncollectible for various reasons, either because somebody passed away, there was a bankruptcy, or they just have flat out refused to pay. We do our best to try to collect all these. For our CAFR that we do annually, we do need to remove these from our books, the older ones. Otherwise, then our uncollectible debt just keeps rising and rising and rising. So I'm just asking that you guys approve us of writing these off, and then it won't be a part of our CAFR with that. It certainly doesn't go away if we have somebody that we can find or comes to us and wants services, we try to collect it at that point, but this just allows us to remove this from our uncollectible debt.
Do you see this going down at all in the future, since we're using Rita now with at least the tax side of it?
I think we'll see that go down. I think we're always gonna have some because of, people do pass away or there is bankruptcy. I think we'll also see some of it go down if we're not doing as many non-emergency transports, because those seems to be a lot of the EMSs that we could not collect. And again, those were like if we took somebody from a hospital to another hospital, that it's not as high a priority as what we've had in the past to do. So I think that would decrease it a little bit too with that. I actually think too that we have in the budget this coming year the AMI system. The AMI system will allow us, when people come in and say they want to shut off their utilities, if they come in and ask us, we could get an exact measurement of their usage and give them a bill possibly at that point. Because some of these utilities are people that just walk away in the case of those. So, yeah, in the future, I would hope that this could be reduced, but we'll always have some.
All right. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions or comments? We need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All right, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dr. Davis.
Yes.
Okay, that's been approved. Item K2, discussion or action for continuation of temporary reduction and/or temporary elimination of certain residential building permit fees. Andy?
As council president, the mayor asked that we bring this forward at the last meeting, and this has been since 2018. Council has approved the reduction or elimination of some residential permit fees. And it's just the way the legislation was written last year. This Resolution 066-22 allows it to be continued with a simple motion of council rather than new legislation.
It's our annual reminder to builders of the fees that before 2018 we would collect, that now we don't, as a way of trying to spur on economic growth, especially housing growth in the city of Napoleon. And that's why you talk about it every year, just to put that out there again, to make sure we all still agree that this is something that we want. I think if you ask your employers in the area, they need more employees. The fastest way to do that is to have employees live closer to work. So it's just a reminder that we do this.
From the city government standpoint, it's a small price to pay, I believe.
Right.
And from a small developer, it could be a significant cost, so.
Right. Anyone else have any questions or comments on this? Okay, we need a motion to approve.
So moved.
All right, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dr. Davis.
Yes.
Okay, item K3, discussion or action on charge order number 10 for the wastewater treatment plant. Change order,
Yes, Council President,
Charge. Same thing,
we had a bearing.
always more charge.
A bearing failure on one of our three screw pumps down at the wastewater treatment plant. These screw pumps used to be utilized only during heavy rain events, when the equalization basin was being used. But they are now part of the headworks of the plant, so they're operational all the time. They're 15 years old, and we figured if one has gone bad, then the other two aren't far behind. So what we would like to do is change all three of them right now and be done with it for hopefully another 15 or 20 years. And that is what the cost before you, $71,500, will cover the materials for that job. With that said, there will be another change order forthcoming once the labor, once they've installed them. We just don't know what that's going to be at this point. So for this change order, I would ask council to approve a $71,500 change order to replace the three bearings.
How are we doing on the change orders for this project?
Right now, we are 6.38% above the bid price, so, or above the price, so,
And usually the leeway's 10%, so we have
Correct.
a ways to go.
yeah.
That's before this, we're at that amount, or is it
After
after
this, before the labor costs.
Okay. Do we
Yes.
have any idea what the labor cost is?
I don't think so until they start lifting if you've seen them, they're huge screw
Yeah.
pumps or screw conveyors. And I don't know, I mean, I don't know that Chad has any idea what's gonna be involved in replacing them in terms of time.
Right. I agree with the timing of it. The only concern would be, it's just how close we are getting to that 10%. What if something else comes up that may have been more important than this, that would push us over that 10%?
Yeah, I mean, we are getting toward the end of this project. And the grand total, and I wish I would have written it down for this project, is relatively substantial.
Right.
So, I mean, it would take quite a break or repair to get up to the 10%.
Okay.
This is, we're gonna knock on wood. Most of the surprises usually are in when you begin the project, not closer to the end of the project, right? your home and garden shows you watch, right? We're gonna remove this wall, and then they tear the wall out and go, well, you can't because it's a load-bearing wall. Yeah, so that's when you find the surprises, not when you're plastering up at the end. So, yeah, it's a good point, though, yeah.
And I think Jeremy's been very satisfied with the work that's been accomplished so far and the way things are operating. So we're almost up and running completely, but there's still a few odds and ends to tie up down there to finish the job.
All right, thank you. Anyone have any other questions or comments? We need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Hey, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dr. Dave.
Yes.
Okay, that has been approved. Item K4, discussion or action on recreation marijuana dispensaries. Andy?
I really didn't have anything additional on this. Just wanted to make sure that it, stayed on the table. I don't know if Billy wants to speak to it at all.
So the last time we talked, we did discuss the fact that it's going to take the state months to get to a point where they have any rules in place or any permits or issues or anything like that. But I did hear council's, I guess, concern about getting something potentially done fairly quickly, and it dawned on me, the last time we did this with medical marijuana, we put a moratorium in place. Prior to the rules being set for medical marijuana, we were still just sort of floating out there, waiting on the state to give us something so that we could draft our rules appropriately afterwards. In that situation, we did draft a moratorium, and then I think we even extended it once. In this situation, I'm not asking council what to do or trying to direct the discussion in any way, but if council is concerned about timing and wants to have something done quickly, perhaps we could do a moratorium in this situation. If council is satisfied that there are no dispensaries here, medical marijuana dispensaries, those will be the first to get licenses to distribute from the state. And it's going to take several months before that even starts. If council's satisfied with that answer, then we can continue to talk about it without the moratorium. If council would like to continue to discuss after a moratorium, we can certainly do that. I've drafted one. If council wants to get the rules in place immediately, we can certainly attempt to do that. I would just caution that we don't know what the state's going to do necessarily. It's not made its way out of the legislature yet. The voters did decide, but it's my understanding that the legislature is going to try to have something to say about how we proceed. So that's all I got to say at this point. So I stand ready to do what the council's looking to have done. And these are some options, and please feel free to discuss as long as you'd like.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to do that and bringing up the moratorium. I didn't think about that from the last time, and I haven't decided personally if I think it's the right way to go with allowing them in the city or not. I think there's still a lot of questions to be answered, quite a few. I personally would not want to, I wouldn't vote yes to not allow dispensaries in Napoleon as of today, because there's a lot of questions, and with you saying it's not going to happen for months, I personally just would like a little bit more information, and who knows, maybe 2 months from now, I'm going to be 100% against it, or maybe not. But the moratorium, what that would do is just say, hey, you can't put one in here till we get more from the state, and then we could still either remove that if we'd like,
Absolutely, yeah.
or
The
keep it in
moratorium would
place.
sit there until either it expired, I think I put it, July 31st of next year as the expiration date, or if council were to vote it away, council could certainly do that. If council wanted to pass rules before that, after we have some more information from the state, we could certainly put something in our ordinances the same way we did with medical marijuana, prohibiting or allowing, or however council wants to handle that. The moratorium would expire once we pass those rules as well, so, just trying to cover all
Yep,
angles at this
yep.
point, so.
And I would agree with the moratorium 100% myself. Leave it up to other people if you have comments or.
Mr. President, just
Yes.
to add to the discussion, everyone I've spoken to since we first started talking about this
is negative on having them in the city.
Right.
And so I just wanted to add that. too.
Okay. Thank you.
I think that the voters voted against it pretty strongly. I have talked to other mayors in other towns, and they're wrestling with the same kind of thing we are. I've also asked Jen Arps and her team to see if there's, dispensary language and site selectors. If your goal at the truck stop is eventually to have insert name here, whether that's a Bob Evans or a Cracker Barrel or whatever it is, when their site selectors come and they see that out there, is they're gonna say, no, we don't wanna be anywhere close? I don't know that. She's still doing some research on that as well. So, I think we're all kind of in that same kind of, we're not sure where to go, but I'm fully in favor of the moratorium. It was voted down in the counties, voted down in the city that people don't want it. So I think I hear the same thing that, that Councilman Whitesell is hearing, is that not interested, don't need it, don't have it, just don't have it. So that's where I'm at on it.
Yeah, I'm in favor of the moratorium. It gives people a chance to express an opinion. I wouldn't agree with it, but
I think I came into tonight with the mindset that I would move to prohibit the opening of any facility. If we could, maybe take a brief recess, just so we could review the moratorium before any vote is made, I would like to do that.
I mean, certainly I've not been directed to draft anything. I took the time today while I was sitting there waiting on defense counsel to show up at court. I had started sort of looking at it, and I had previous examples from medical marijuana stuff that we did 7 years ago, and drafted one that I thought was appropriate to this situation. And certainly we can, if council, it is ready, if council wants to throw it on tonight, if the council president would add it to the agenda, that's just fine, or if council wanted to direct me to draft it tonight, and then I could dispense copies to everybody for voting next time.
That'd be my preferred route.
Okay, so that way everybody has a chance to read it.
Right.
Read it and digest it.
I like that idea.
Okay.
I would make the motion to have the law director draft a moratorium on this topic.
Second motion.
Any other comments or questions? Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dr. Davis.
Yes.
Billy, thank you again for doing that. Okay, we'll go around the table. We'll start with Kevin today.
I have nothing, thank you.
Okay. Dr. Dave?
I'd just like to say congratulations to Officer Legg on great job. Look forward to working with him, getting to know him a little bit better. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Ken?
I'm quiet tonight.
All right, thank you.
Ross?
Nothing for me.
Okay, Mr. Mayor?
Received a Christmas card from Filling Home, it was just made to the city, so thought that was nice of them to give that to us. In the holiday spirit, there's a really nice Christmas tree out there, I think that Brittany is putting together with all the departments. I think that's really a nice addition to the hallway out there. Saturday at 3 o'clock is the annual Army-Navy game. This year, it's in Foxborough, Massachusetts for the first time. Between 3 o'clock and 6:30, 6:45, it's a football game, but the things that makes the Army-Navy game special is how the game starts and how the game ends. Before the game, they have their march on, the entire brigade of midshipmen and then the entire Corps of Cadets or vice versa. And that's unique in and of itself, but you think about the logistics behind that, is they have a parking lot A at the stadium, whatever it is. And they put both student bodies in there. So try to name me two other institutions, you can take the entire student bodies, put in the same parking lot, divided by some police barricades, I think this is a good idea. You'd be hard pressed to be able to do that for 100+ years to still get away with it. And then after the game, when the game is done, the winning team will sing their alma mater second. So they'll stand shoulder to shoulder. The losers are singing theirs first. The Naval Academy is singing theirs first. And then I'm throwing zingers as I can, Ken. Yeah. And then Army will sing theirs second. It's one of the rare instances in all of sport where doing something second is actually the winning thing to do. So that, I just think it's, yeah, and I'm biased, yeah, I'm absolutely biased, but, I think those two things alone make it very unique football. One last thing, sorry to put you on the spot here, Billy. What is the executive session for, it's not discipline of employee, but what do you call that? It's not compensation of employee. It's, I'm sitting there flat-footed, I apologize, so.
Let's dig the rules out.
And I couldn't find it real quick before we started the meeting. Otherwise
Talking
I'd
about
pull this up.
the general personnel section?
Yeah.
And then, depending on what the topic would be, to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, et cetera, of a public employee.
That's the one. Yeah. Yep. So I was gonna call an executive session, when we're done with this part for that.
Okay, Dan?
Nothing, sir.
Okay, Molly?
Nothing, thank you.
Bob?
Yes, coming to meeting tonight, I was stopped at the stop sign at Jan's and Riverview, and the new crossing for the path is there. I saw a gentleman with 2 dogs. Press the button, flasher's working, he's crossing in a crosswalk, theoretically guarded, and a car just missed him at speed. You know, we have to do some kind of thought, I think, on lighting that better, because he wasn't well lit. The flashers were working, but for whatever reason, I think that the person just paid no attention to it. However, I think if he was better illuminated, it might have caused that person, the person didn't slow down.
Right.
And I could barely see him crossing, and I'm at the stop sign, and I watched the whole thing. I almost watched a terrible, terrible tragedy.
Right.
So my thoughts would be to ask staff to look into that. My only suggestion right now would be to get a street light that would be on the north side that cast light heavily to the south. That way we're not lighting up all the houses, because no one likes that.
Right.
But a brighter light, or a very bright light that lights that particular crossing might be appropriate. That's only my opinion, but I'd like staff to at least to look at it. Thank you.
Certainly, we'll certainly do that.
All right. Thank you. Billy?
Congrats to Chief Legg, and at the next council meeting, I should have some litigation updates.
Thank you.
Thank you. Andy?
Yes, with Chief Slagg's appointment, I will have the applications are due for the Assistant Chief's job this coming Friday, December 8th. And then we will go through the interview process there, and Chief Legg and I will decide upon an assistant for him. So that should be, we should have that filled prior to the January 20th date for when Assistant Chief Legg takes over. Tomorrow, George Gridell will be in town. They're the firm that is going to be working on the water line. They will be diving to help get a better picture for themselves on what they're going to be attacking. And then next Monday, they'll start with their mobilization efforts, putting in the cofferdams, which will take 3 or 4 days, and then doing the work on that. So hopefully by the first week of December, we'll have that job complete.
First week of January.
No, first week of December, or last week of December.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Just before the first week of January.
Okay.
Yeah, right now, if all goes well, they've got it laid out to be finished by December 22nd. Of course, that weather permitting and river levels and everything else. And finally, I just appreciate the first reading on the increase for my salary. Appreciate it very much. That's all I have.
All right. Just want to congratulate Assistant Chief Legg, and look forward to working with you as the chief. And want to thank Chief again for this Saturday at the Christmas parade, and all the other departments that contributed. Thought about that, you know, it's a Saturday afternoon, evening, and I'm sure we had additional staff there from operations and police to keep everyone safe on that. So appreciate all that. And since I see Tony here, put him on the spot here. How are things going with the field? I know originally they were thinking about getting the turf down by around this time. How's that looking?
They're still progressing. They did fall a little bit behind, as far as the timeline that they thought they would potentially get the turf installed. They did get, over half of the wall put in. They stripped the forms from the right field side and the, behind home plate. And now they're, forming up for the third base side, so that should be done by, I'm hoping the end of the week. And then they'll prep the surface for where the turf will go in, so weather permitting, we still could end up seeing it in the next week or two.
Great. All right. Thank you for the update. Okay. All right, that's all I have. Want to,
Yeah, yeah.
So we need a motion to go into executive session for, did you happen to catch what Billy said, or can we?
I can repeat
Could
it.
you repeat that for us, please?
Thank you, Billy.
Of course. So, and I don't really know what's gonna be discussed, so I'm throwing out a lot of very vague terms here. I don't know if you wanna pick some. To consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee,
We'll leave that, that's perfect.
just like that?
Yep.
Make the motion.
Did you get all that?
Yes.
Man, you're good. All right, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dr. Dave.
Yes.
Just elected, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, there's no action taken. Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dr. Dave.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to item L, approve payments of bills. In the absence of any objections or corrections, the payment of bills shall stand approved. Hearing none, they stand approved. Item M, adjournment. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, Marissa, please call the roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes,
Dan,
Yes.
Molly,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Dr. Dave.
Yes.
and we are adjourned. Thank you all.